from, and they bump. Where you get your beats? I heard 93 rappers say speech like me. Two singers and 10 comedians, and I'm still gonna yell it every time you see me in. What's my favorite word? Why they gotta say it like short? You know they can't play on my court, can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Where you get that from? Grab a mic, spin one. Let me hit that plum. Pimp C, 8 Ball, and MJG. Keep spitting that D to the IMP. Bun B, that's Texas, baby. Ballin' G, that's Memphis, baby. Short dog, that's Oakland, baby. Ain't nothing but pimpin' these days, G. My nigga C got locked up, but these real hoes still know they got to fuck. Give a fuck, nigga, what you say.
And we are back in the house. Yep. Salute. See some people coming into the house. What's up? What's up? Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna get it in tonight. Ironically, this will be a short broadcast tonight, no pun intended, as I have something very pressing to do tomorrow early, so don't want to hold you guys too long, but we're gonna, we're not gonna be here long, but we're gonna be strong as per usual. But I'd like to officially welcome you all to another exciting episode of the Knight Riders Squadcast. And yeah, we're going to be talking about a subject that I have been meaning to touch on some time ago. Just sometimes other things take precedent, but I think this is pretty important. We've touched on it here and there, but tonight we're gonna dive deep, and I'm gonna bring out a perspective that you probably never heard, but just sit tight, because like I said, we're gonna get to it, because I'm not gonna be here as long as we normally are, but we're gonna get the job done. Yeah, so the way this is gonna work out is that we're gonna kind of approach this in a different way. I've got my man Shadow Zulu in the house. Good to see you. And what we're going to do here, we're going to give a little bit of, like I said, a perspective that's probably different. And again, you know how we do over here. We kind of take different angles. We don't follow the herd. As Sigma men, we are very much independent thinkers. And we like to look at things from an angle that is outside of the beaten path, right? And what did my man Shadow Zulu say? He said, you got a Nephilim brothers, Mr. quote 6 pack, 6 pack, 6 feet, 6 inches. Oh, okay. So he's coming with a whole metaphysical type belief that's why they want the 666. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Shadow. It could be, but again, I'm gonna look at this from a different angle. So we're gonna get it going, and as per usual, we're gonna kind of start off the broadcast with just a few clips, just to kind of test everything, make sure the audio's good, just to get everything ready to go, so that we get it to the heavy work. So I'm gonna just play. We just got a few of them, but just a couple of interesting clips that we came across that I think you guys may find pretty interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on the screen for you. Let's go ahead and open that up, because, like I said, it's something that I was going to be touching on, but we touched on it within the confines of other broadcasts, but I didn't go as deep as I wanted to. And there's a specific point that I want to make regarding this that I'm going to make tonight. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and get just a couple of opening clips. Oh, we're going to talk a little bit about Umar, the Cookie Monster, because of apparently he's been leaving little cookie crumbs everywhere, you know, being the Cookie Monster that he is. And he apparently has some rogue children out here that he's apparently not taking care of. And we're going to just do a quick analysis of that video that allegedly his daughter dropped. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. But first, we're going to get into these little random clips, and then we're going to talk about Umar, and then we're going to get into the actual subject at hand. So the first video is going to be this one right here. So you can tell me what you think about this. So check it out.
What they pulling you over for? Expired tags. And she need to pat you down for expired tags? That's a little excessive. At least I think so. I thought expired.
Yeah, Shadow with the Cookie Monster. I like how you did that, Shadow. You got the word cookie with two cookies as the O's. So you guys are creative over here. That's why, you know, I really like the Knight Riders that are in the house. Yeah, that's pretty inventive, so I like that. But yeah, so that's exactly what it is. Shadow, can you hear the clip? Let me know you can hear the clip pretty well.
I tell you, you just get a ticket. What's the need to pat down? And you should always record, big dog. And as a passenger, you don't got an ID either. As a passenger, you're not even necessarily.
Yeah. So you hear this clip. This brother is kind of putting the guys up on game as they're getting their rights kind of trampled upon. And I think when we pulled this clip, there was somebody in the comments section that said, if I was my brother's keeper was a person, it would be this guy. But anyway, I just want you guys to check this out. Let's go.
You're part of the stop. You just happen to be in the car, so you don't got an ID or nothing. Whatever it is she's trying to do. Now, if she asks you to step out, you got to. I don't know, especially just for expired tags. Now, like I said, you don't have to ID as a passenger. You don't have to. So I'm not in your way. Don't consent to no searches or none of that.
Stop.
I can speak freely.
Okay, you need to back up.
I am back. Just like I said, just don't consent to no searches or none of that. Like I said, you're a passenger, so you don't got to ID yourself, and just don't consent to no searches.
This is better than the lawyer on the scene right there, right? Let's go.
Honestly, she's not even supposed to detain you as a passenger. So make sure when it's over, you get her name and badge number and you file a formal complaint, because she's not even supposed to do none of this to you as a passenger. You're supposed to tell her you ain't consenting to no searches. You're still supposed to say it just so you can have it on record. Still say it. Still tell her. That's so that you did. It don't matter. Let her violate the law. You did your part. Long as you say your part, that's all that matters. Because you could take her to court. She digging in your pockets. You're not under arrest. But he not under arrest. You only supposed to do a frisk, a pat down on the outside. Yeah,
Yeah, it's always the lady cops. It looks like they're kind of always overdoing it. It's like, I don't know, maybe they're compensating for something. I don't know. Let's go.
only supposed to pat down the outside of his pockets. So that's unlawful.
They always seem to be the ones doing the most for some reason.
That's a full search. Ask her. Well, I'm not conducting the stop. You gotta ask her what's going on. Is it? No, she got the people who car it is in there.
So you're just
I'm just a concerned citizen. Not just the film.
Got my man Will in the house. Salute. Good to see you. I'm glad you can make another live. Will, you've been going through the entire archive. I like how you're kind of going through every video, and I'm seeing you shooting me messages, letting me know, because you're commenting. Because when I log in, I see the notification of whenever I get people sending me messages, of course. And you're sending me messages from videos that we made damn near 2 years ago. I'm like, damn, he's over there watching the archive. So salute to Will. He's getting that game the right way. He started from the beginning, and I think he's trying to watch every single video on the Squadcast. So salute to Will. Shout out to Will in the house. I'm glad you can make a live again, bro. All right, let's get it.
Just to make sure she's doing her job right. She already overstepped. She done searched the passenger without consent.
And yeah, well, let me know if that's the plan. If you're trying to watch every single last video and where you are right now in the archives, because you sent me a video from. I mean, you sent me a message from a video that's, I think we made that video, yeah, definitely over a year ago. So, and then prior to that, it was another video that was even older than that. So, let me know what your plan is if you're trying to watch every video in the archive. Let's go.
So that's already a violation right there. And it's supposed to be just for.
Do me a favor.
It's supposed to be.
Off a little bit
Well, I'm not too close. That's why you here. I'm not too close. If I was too close, I'll be violating. I'm keeping the distance. I've been distant since I got here. If all she stopped him for was just tags, I don't see what she need to pull the passenger out for. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just a passenger in the car. So why would he be searched and ID? What's your name and badge number?
Carrillo.
Huh? Carrillo. Badge number what?
061.
All right. But yeah, if it's just tags, couldn't she just cited him and let him go?
She's taking the car now.
Yeah, so my bro did his thing right there. He was looking after the other guys, and you gotta salute him for that. So I just thought I wanted to show you guys that. Yeah, because you certainly should know your rights. But what's so interesting is that, unfortunately, there's been so many instances where black people in particular have had their rights trampled. You kind of gotta, be careful because there's so much of a means for them to kind of circumvent that. And if they got the gun and the badge and all of that, then it's definitely, even though you might be right as far as from a legal standpoint, I don't know if it's necessarily the wisest thing to try to adjudicate the situation on the ground. I would say just, be cool and, retain yourself a lawyer and make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. But yeah, but salute to that brother. He was trying to help, and I'm not gonna knock him for that. But let's get into this next clip. This I thought was pretty funny. This is the comedian Godfrey talking about Trump. So let's get it.
I don't know why Trump is always so funny, regardless of what you think about him or whatever. He's doing a lot of crazy ass shit, but why is he always funny? I try to dislike this motherfucker, but he always makes me laugh. And as a comedian, I go, oh, I got to get this one. Yo, he's at this conference in India, and an Indian dude asked him, Mr. Trump, what are you going to do about the Indian situation? Because we had another president came into but
people in India will naturally welcome your decision to extradite Habu Rana to India back home.
He's like, you're going to have to speak louder. I don't understand. Speak louder. I don't hear you. I don't understand.
You're going to have to go louder.
And he goes, President Trump, what are we going to do about you and the situation in India? You have to tell about I don't know what he's saying. I really don't know. I don't know.
You can't understand a word he's saying.
Come on, please. This is so bad. It's so bad. Your accent is so... I hate your accent. That's why I never take cabs or Ubers, okay? I would never know where to go. I'm sorry.
Godfrey sounds just like him, doesn't he? Let's go.
I'm sorry. Yo, I don't give a fuck. That shit was hilarious. I understood what the Indian dude said. I understood it. All right, and he was very clear. He just had an accent. And then he picked the white guy. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the white guy. The white guy he speaks very clearly. The white guy.
Go ahead back there.
Mr. President, thank you.
I'm sorry, India. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. You're so good at spelling bee, though. You're so good. You're engineers, you're doctors, and you're great at spelling bee, but you just can't speak words. You can spell them, but you just can't speak them. That's so sad.
Yeah, Godfrey, he be nailing those impressions. Shout out to him. And by the way, do you guys did you see what was going on between him and Lord Jamar? Apparently they fell out because I think Lord Jamar had some type of debate about flat Earth, and for some damn reason, he got mad at Godfrey because I guess he lost the debate, which is goofy. I mean, who's still a flat earther out here? But anyway, I don't know. Some of you guys might be a flat earther. If so, I ain't trying to offend you, but come on. But anyway, so apparently him and Lord Jamar going back and forth. I heard rumors that Lord Jamar might be trying to sue him, or there's a bunch of goofy stuff. So I remember they were doing a podcast together a while back. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but anyway, oh yeah, my man Will says, yes, sir. That's the goal. Want to watch them in chronological order, but I have a chance to catch you live and love your work. Okay, salute, bro. I appreciate that. Salute to you. I'm glad you are enjoying the content, and I really enjoy people that can go back and look at the old work. And the fact that you said you want to do it in chronological order, that's. I mean, I really salute to that, because that gives you the full context, and you get to see the body of work and what it is that we're doing over here. So salute to you on that. And then Shadow says he sounds exactly like him too. Yep. Said the earth is the shape of a vagina. Only you would say that, Shadow Zulu. Only you would say that. But anyway, yeah, you know what? Let's get into this Umar situation. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, because I'm sure you guys have heard about that by now. And I just want to give my quick take on it. I thought I had a couple of clips on it. As I'm playing this one, I'm going to see, because this is her actual, his daughter speaking. So I'm going to let her rock out real quick, and I'm going to look. I think I have another couple clips as well with, I think, Umar's response. And we're going to go from there, but let's get it.
Hey TikTok, so I just wanted to come on here with a small short announcement. I just want to start this video off by saying I'm not trying to get clout. I literally just want to have a conversation with my father. My biological father is Dr. Umar. He has another daughter. I tried to contact him about, getting to know my sister on my dad's side. I asked him if he knows her or if he has her number. He ignored me and never responded. I'm 22 years old now. My dad has never been to anything important, no graduation, no birthday parties, nothing. He has not been in my life. Again, I'm not making this video to bad.
Now that's crazy. That is insane for him to be out here allegedly this Pan-African Prince of Pan-Africanism, that is, or we like to call him the Prince of Pan-Pizzarism, but anyway, and he's out here and got a whole daughter out here that has to come out here and making a video like this. It's kind of crazy, but let's go.
I'm making this video to state facts, okay? You can't get on.
Will says Umar daughter kind of decent. Okay, well, unfortunately, she got an unfortunate father, but it is what it is. My man Cortez, long time no see, bro. He said, "What's up, y'all?" He said, "Prince of poor parenting." Yeah, that's about it. Let's go.
Instagram and get on social media.
And Shadow says that will destroy his credibility if that's true. You know what's so weird, Shadow? I cannot believe he doesn't have his credibility already destroyed, because the bottom line is, once he came out talking about he was going to build a school, he never did, along with the other shenanigans he's been doing. The fact that he has any credibility to destroy is remarkable to me. And then Cortez says, "Ain't gotta lie, she looks like the Dr. Seuss character in that freeze frame." All right, let's go.
Portray to be an activist and talk about how black kings need to be with black women, but you're not even in your black woman's daughter's life. It doesn't make sense. You're being a hypocrite, and it's frustrating because I reached out to you. I shouldn't have had to do that. I'm your daughter, but I'm smart enough.
Now, what she's saying is true. She's right. Even though he might make some type of excuses, and I'm going to see if I can find that video with him trying to respond, but there's no excuse if you got a child that is trying to reach you and you're trying to put the responsibility of them to try to reach out to you, right? Because if his excuse is, well, I'm out here, my phone is this, like, listen, bro, you need to be the one making sure that you initiate that contact with your child, right? So I don't understand when guys make that point that the child could be the one to get in touch with them. It's kind of weird when in actuality, that's your responsibility right there. What's it, Corey? Man, y'all in there tripping. He said, Will says, Whoville character. He said, putting responsibility on the kid is crazy. Yeah, that's the bottom line. And what's so crazy is that Umar, for all his talk, he's making it, he's he's the one that is denigrating the image of black men because he's one of these guys who will come out here and start simping and pandering and trying to make it seem like black men are such an issue when he himself is a degenerate who has soiled the image of black men single-handedly himself, especially with a situation like this, because on average black men are better fathers than what the representation is, because we pointed out many times before, when you go into the research, you go into the CDC, the Pew Research studies, black men are the most active fathers. So for Umar to be out here spreading rhetoric, because we've called him out before, putting out stereotypes about black men while simultaneously talking about he's this prince of Pan-Africanism and he's so much for the community, that he is himself a bad representation of black manhood. And it's unfortunate that his daughter has to come out here and expose him like this. But let's go.
Enough and logical enough to know that you would never reach out to me because you don't have my phone number, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't try to reach out to me because for what? I don't want anything out of you. I want
that's crazy. You don't even have a phone number. That's crazy.
nothing but a conversation. Forget the relationship. I really don't care too much about that at this point. I just wanted a conversation out of you, and you shut me down. You ignored me. You should never be too busy for your daughter ever in life. So I just wanted to make this video to just try to, I guess, somehow find my sister on my dad's side. So if you see this, please reach out to me. Please DM me because I want to know who you are. Why do I have siblings out there that I don't know about? It's unfair. And
so again, is Umar out here spreading cookie crumbs everywhere? Is that what the Cookie Monster's doing? So you would expect that from the Cookie Monster, that he would be out here spreading cookie crumbs everywhere, right? Let's get it.
And deadbeat fathers is very common nowadays, especially in the black community, right? We all know Dr. Umar reps the black community or whatever.
And see, here's the thing. What she's saying is to kind of reinforce this stereotype about the quote deadbeat black fathers, when again we've debunked that 7 ways from Sunday. When you look at the studies, black men are actually the most active, and this whole notion or this narrative about quote deadbeat fathers is a misrepresentation, because as we pointed out before, a lot of those women who claim that the fathers are deadbeats, they don't even know who the father is, because they can't nail down between 5 to 10 Negroes who actually impregnated them because they were knocked up, or there were several dudes that were skeeting up in them within their gestation period, to the point where they've been playing Russian roulette with their womb and they can't even determine who the actual father is. So when the baby's born, of course the father's not in the child's life, because no one knows who the father is, right? So that's a misnomer with this whole notion of a deadbeat dad, the way they're trying to present it. Now, are there some guys who have walked away from the responsibility? Case in point, like Umar, of course. We're not saying that there isn't. In fact, we are openly condemning guys like that who do that, and we don't support that, right? However, it's been definitely over estimated in terms of how many quote deadbeat guys there are, in the sense of walking away from a family. And another point that I've made in the past is that you cannot walk away from a family when there was never one to begin with. If anybody has walked away from the family, it's these women who are choosing to get impregnated outside of the confines of a family. See, back in the day when you've had those occasions where there be social pressures, society, a lot of things that were going on that made some black men decide that they were better off and their family was better off if they were not in the picture. in those situations, there may have been an instance where the man was married to the woman and those children were born in wedlock. Now, if a man walks away from that responsibility, then we put 100% of the responsibility on that man. If he has a family, he has a wife and children that he knows are his, and he chooses to walk away from that, we condemn that behavior. No one within the sound of my voice who has any type of morality would condone a man who is married to a woman and has children walking away from that situation, regardless as to the reason. That's well understood. The problem is you don't have that scenario. You have a bunch of women who are by design trying to become baby mamas for government benefits and for social clout among their peers, because that's another part of it. Because once women become mothers in society, all of a sudden they can do no wrong, right? So that's the motivation for a lot of these women to become these single mothers or these baby mamas. And the man was never in the picture. So how is he going to walk away when he was never in the picture? Because again, they don't even know who the father is between 5 different dudes. They cannot pin him down. Because she was too busy getting pinned down by a bunch of different dudes, and she doesn't even know who the father is. So that's the main thing. But let's get some more. I found those clips, by the way. We're going to get Umar's response as well. Let's go.
You can't wreck that if you're not even in your daughter's life. You moving backwards. You're moving backwards. It's not making sense. To the public, you look like this person, but in private, you a whole nother person. And I'm not bashing you. I just don't understand why you're ignoring me. I'm 22 years old and you have yet to be in my life. No graduations.
That's crazy. And you know, the way she's bugging her eyes and the way she's talking, I'm making fun of her because she's a victim in this situation. But can't you just kind of tell that's his daughter? I'm just saying, obviously she's a little lighter than him, so that means Umar likes the light-skinned women. So for all his talk about Pan-Africanism, you know, but I can kind of see that could be his daughter. I don't know about you guys, but and she says that she has a DNA test, right? So, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking that she might be actually his daughter. What say you guys? Let's go.
No parties. When I get married, are you going to be at the wedding? Are you going to walk me down the aisle? Yo, I have a stepdad who has been in my life since a little girl. He has been in my life. And I thank God for him because my biological father couldn't even do that, y'all. My biological father is not even on my birth certificate because when my mom had me, he left. And I do have a DNA test. So yes, I can prove that that's my father. I would never get on here and lie to y'all.
So she just said it right there. And again, if you notice Umar's response, which I'm going to play shortly, I don't think he's outright denied, or he may have even conceded that that was his daughter. So I think that's a done deal right there. But let's go.
That's kind of sick and delusional and crazy. But I'm just making this video because I want to find my sister. And when I reached out to him about giving me her number or if he even had it, I was ignored. So now I guess I have to take matters into my own hands. So if you see this video, sister, please reach out to me.
And it's a damn shame if what she's saying is true, that all she wants to do, she don't even want, she already knows he's a bum and he's not going to do anything. As quote prominent as he is, as he claims he's the most requested and all this type of stuff, for your daughter to not even esteem you enough to say that she don't even want nothing to do with you. She's just trying to get in touch with her sister, and that he won't even allow her to be able to do that. You know, that's a testimony to how much of a scumbag Umar is. But let's get it. And what y'all seeing in there? He said, yeah, Cortez says she looks just like him. Yeah, I can see it, bro. I can definitely see some resemblance there. So, and again, I don't even think he's outright denying it. Cortez says that's definitely Umarisha. Well, hopefully she ain't like him, you know, as far as her actions. And, you know, from what I can tell, she seems like a decent young lady. And I don't think that she's developed some of his negative traits as of yet. King Seeing Red is in the house. Salute, bro. He says, so why disrespect the stepdad by going after the deadbeat? You know what, King Seeing Red, that's a good question. I think that specifically she's just trying to get some information on her sister, so that's the reason why I guess she feels that he's the only one that can provide that specific information. So, um, yeah. And Cortez says, truth is, her mom was a bust down and tried to get pregnant, but Umar didn't want a kid, but he could at least have let her contact her siblings. Yeah, but here's the thing, bro. I do appreciate the fact that um you guys could see through the fact that his her mom, or Umar's ex, or whatever the situation was with them, that she was probably just a bust down, and that Umar probably didn't want a kid. But here's my thing on that: if you didn't take the proper precautions to prevent that child from coming, then that's on you, bro. You still got to take care of her. That's the bottom line. He does all this hustling and scamming or whatever to get that money to support his coke habit or whatever he got going on. He can't take care of his daughter. That's crazy to me. And then Will says, yeah. Oh yeah, Cortez says, well, I feel you. And then he says, Charles Zulu says, what if the baby mama is a nobody? You know what? I would not be surprised. She don't look biracial. She's lighter complected, but I don't think she's biracial. That would be funny as hell, because that might explain why Umar has been so secretive about her existence, right? But I'm sure she might be, her mom might be a biracial woman or something, because like I said, she's a few shades lighter than Umar, so that could very well be the case, man. But if she could turn out to be a snow bunny, oh my goodness, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy right there. My man D is in the house. Salute. Salute. Okay, yeah, we're going to get some more of that, and I'm going to get Umar's response. Let's go.
Because if he's not going to allow us to be in contact, I'll do it myself. I just want to end this video off by saying that daughters who have deadbeat fathers should not have to go through this. This is very present in the black community. And as an activist, I would not think that you would be a deadbeat because you rep the black community so much. It doesn't make any sense. You cannot be a hypocrite. You can't say do A, but you're doing B. It doesn't make any sense. So y'all already heard my mission for this video. Y'all already heard why I'm making this video. So if she can reach out to me, I would love that. I would love to have a conversation with you because you are my sister on my father's side that I have never met.
See, I'm telling you, when she bugs her eyes out like that, she definitely kind of expresses herself like Umar. Now, she's not repeating everything 3 or 4 times, so shout out to her for that. But she definitely, I could tell by her expressions and how she's kind of moving, that she got some of that Umar in her somewhere. So I'm just saying, I can definitely see that being Umar's daughter. Let's go.
I don't even know your name. I don't even know how old you are. I have a sister on my mom's side, and I'm the oldest. I'm pretty sure that my sister that's on my dad's side, I'm probably older than her.
Shadow says the Cookie Monster adding some snow flavors to his cookies. Yeah, he wants some of those vanilla frosted cookies. Maybe you never know, bro. Let's go.
I'm supposed to be guiding her. I'm supposed to be teaching her things because you as the father, you're not doing that. So let me do that as an older sister. But that's the end of this video. As I stated in the beginning of this video, I'm not trying to bash this man. I'm stating facts. Facts. And in the next clip, I will show y'all the screenshot of me.
Well, she did repeat herself that time. But, like I said, I think there's a little Umar going on right there. Well, let's go.
Trying to reach out to him, and he ignored me after I asked him if he had my sister's phone number. So here you go.
Okay, so she's providing receipts here. So this is apparently a text between them two. I'm going to see if I can read. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to read this. He says, peace and Pan-Africanism is, if this is in fact my daughter, is there a reason why you're not messaging me directly from your cell phone? And she says, this is my iCloud, but my phone number is blank. It said, text me your phone. And she says, this is Anissa. I guess that's her name. This is a different number. Why the different numbers? And she says 267 or 443. She says 443. Do you have any other children? I guess she's asking him that. I would love to meet them. Do you have their numbers? See if there's any more of this texting. So I think maybe he just left her on red after that. So I guess that was her point. She tried to reach out to see if there was any more children. But you notice his response, if this is my daughter. So he's acknowledging that he has a daughter out there, right? But let's get his response. Let's see what the Cookie Monster himself has to say about himself, right? Let's go.
Trying to use your father's name to build your struggles.
Or you know what? I think I got an actual video before I get to this one. Let's go.
Sweden black for the next couple days. You feel me? You feel me? If you with me, you with me. If you ain't, you ain't. I'm not begging nobody. If you with me, you with me. If you ain't, you ain't. The only thing good that's coming out of this unfortunate situation is everybody got to pick a side. Pick a side and stay on it. Please stay on your side. No more frenemies. I don't want no more frenemies. Either with me or you not. Let's do what we got to
You know, that's how he's trying to gaslight his followers, right? Let's go.
do. Black queens forever. Snow bunnies never. Pan-Africanism a perish. Happy Independence Day for Ghana. I got 2 events tomorrow.
Well, let's skip that part. But and D says to me that could be what she's doing. What was that specifically, D? Let's go.
Email panafricanevents@gmail.com. We spell Africa with a K. Panafricanevents@gmail.com.
He probably spells cookie with a K too. Let's go.
For the 4 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock, we're going to the Ghanaian Independence.
To come on here with a small, short announcement. Get clout. I literally with my father.
Yeah, so we seen this part. I want to get to his response. Let's go.
For recognizing a clout chaser when you see one. Thank you for recognizing a clout chaser when you see one.
So he's calling her a clout chaser, but if she's your actual daughter, or she's not your daughter, then why are you not calling her a liar? Why are you not calling her a fraud? So I guess she could be your daughter while simultaneously being a clout chaser, because maybe it's like father like daughter, right? Because that's what you are. So it takes one to know one, right? But it's just very interesting how he's trying to gaslight as opposed to holding any type of responsibility. But let's go.
Is there a reason why the mother...
For you to get on the internet and be as childish as you're acting, you're a grown ass man. The only reason why you decided to get in contact with me is because I outed you. You're a deadbeat. You're a fraud.
So this is her response after his response, because he basically just, called her a clout chaser and so forth. But this is her response to, I guess, the video that he made right there. But let's go.
And you're a hypocrite. You do everything that you are so caught against. Black kings and black queens need to be together. But you got 2 daughters and you're not in their life. Now you want to have a talk with me and my mom. Where was this energy at before? Now you want to talk because you getting outed. You see how that works? It's not genuine. You are a grown ass man. And the way that you on social media, but you disappointed in my online behavior, guess what? Young man, boy, because you're not a man.
Damn, is that his daughter talking to him like that? See, that's a shame right there, right? See, that's why if you're a man of integrity and honor, there's no way in hell your daughter would be talking to you like that. His daughter then outright called him a boy. That's crazy. This shouldn't even be on the internet. This fool should have been in his daughter's life to the point where this wouldn't even be an issue. But he's such a degenerate that his daughter has so little respect for him that she's out here talking to him like that. But let's get it. And he says that's it. Yeah, got Dusty Demon Destroyer in the building, in the house. She says she don't deserve a damn daddy. You know what, Dusty Demon Destroyer, regardless as to whether or not she's the type of woman or girl, whatever, that deserves a father, he's her father. So he needs to be responsible. That's his daughter, regardless as to the type of person she is. She probably is like that because of the type of dude he was. But at the end of the day, the responsibility falls on the parent to make it right. It's not the job of the child to mend any broken fences and try to rectify things that were broken because of what he did years ago. Because he's the one that skeeted up in her mom and decided to have her without being in her life. So let's get a little bit more.
I would not have had to come to social media if you would have responded to my text messages. But you wanted to ignore me and block me on Instagram and call me a struggling streamer. Right. I would never claim you a day in my life, and I thank God that we don't have a relationship because.
Okay, so she said her thing right there. Let me see if I think I got another clip with Umar. Or you know what? I think this one right here where she's responding to something else he said. Let's go.
This is what my dad responded to me. Good evening, princess. Although I am very disappointed in your online behavior, I want to have lunch with you and your mother next Thursday or Friday. Please have her text me the day, time, and location for our meeting. You deserve to hear all of the truth from us together. We have much to discuss. I look forward to building a relationship.
And then Cortez said, now she's gonna go get in a relationship and ruin a man's life. Probably. And D says, so what the F is she talking about then? What is this all about? Well, again, D, I guess the point is she's trying to get information from other siblings that she has, that because apparently, like I said, Umar's out here spreading cookie crumbs everywhere. So there's some siblings that she's trying to get in touch with, and she's asking him about that, but he's ignoring her. So I guess that's why she chose to bring it public, because he basically ghosted her or something. But it's kind of crazy. And King C and Red says she's all over the place. I mean, look who her father is, bro. I mean, I can't, he's all over the place. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or the cookie doesn't fall far off the plate. Let's go.
With you that she never allowed us to have. With love, your father. So you decided to reach out to me because I outed you. You had all this time, you had all these chances to reach out to your daughter, but because I outed you on social media, now you want to sit down for lunch? You're a fraud. You're a hypocrite. You are everything that you say that you aren't. And you got on live responding to me, talking about some struggle stream, talking about some, oh, I'm known in North Philly. If y'all needed to find me, y'all could have found me. What Hello? What do I have to find you for, sir? When you're
Yeah, and then Will says she wants what all women want, attention. Yeah, I can agree with that. She's definitely a attention seeker, but again, look who her damn daddy is. I mean, enough said. So even if he was in her life, she probably would still be extra like this. But at the end of the day, at least it wouldn't be that negative energy and Umar being out here creating a bad image for black men, especially him being a prominent black man that he is. He shouldn't be, but he is, whether we like it or not. He's very visible. So that whole narrative is something that is a bad look for our image, because over here we are an anti negative black man propaganda channel. So we push back at the likes of Umar to separate him from the real image of who we are. And the fact that he's such a degenerate that he allowed it to spill over like this, and had he been in this girl's life, as much of a degenerate as he is, at the very least, this public embarrassment will not be out here for all of us to see. And then King C Red said, another BM takedown. Yeah, I mean, he gave her the ammunition, to be honest, though. And then D says, we don't want the details of their relationship. Yeah, it's too late now, though. It's already out here. And then Will says, I take back what I said about her being decent, average, or average at best. And then D says, I don't even care for Umar. Yeah, I don't think any of us really do, but it's just the fact that she's just confirming things that we knew about him. So he said, but we don't know anything about anything. Yeah, I mean, we know that apparently he's out here recklessly spreading his spawn and not taking care of them, and that's a bad look. But let's get a little bit more before we get to the topic.
My dad, right? Like, now you want to have a talk because I outed you. Hold black men accountable.
No, hold that Negro accountable. See, you see how quickly the conversation shifts to, quote, black men in general? See, that's the reason why I say what I say over here as far as making sure that we put the facts out there, we push back against the propaganda, because all it takes is one wayward Negro like Umar, and then all of a sudden we all just some deadbeats, right? That's the point. They always want to make that pivot. And then Will say, he said, we know Umar is a kick-ass ninja. Man, y'all crazy. But let's go.
Hold them accountable.
Hello guys, so I just wanted to come on here with a small update. I just got off the phone with Dr. Umar's other daughter's mother, and she just told me that that's her daughter. So yes, y'all, I found her. I'm going to give her a call and talk to my sister when she gets out of school. So, and I just wanted to answer a couple questions. All that, are you going to show us the DNA test? No, because it's not your business. Why? I don't have to prove nothing to y'all internet folks. I know what it is in real life. So no, you're not getting a DNA test. What else have I seen? Why are you coming to the internet with this? I already tried to get in contact with him. He shut me down and ignored me. What else I've been seeing? Oh, you trying to tear down Dr. Umar? No, I'm not. He tore himself down by not building a relationship with his own daughter. What's another question I saw? It's a bunch of questions I seen, but y'all don't know nothing. That's my dad. I have the right. And that's my sister. I have the right. Clock it.
So anyway, that's that. Like I said, the bottom line here is that we push back against that type of foolery, and you got Umar out here spreading his damn cookies, just making himself look bad primarily, and then by him being such, as I said, a visible figure, is it's just a bad look, because all that does is creates the opportunity for the banshees to take him and then extrapolate him to all of you. And that's the reason why you have to be vigilant to safeguard your image and make sure, number one, you're moving correctly and that you're not feeding into the false narrative, right? So that's the reason why we push back at that type of foolery. But right now, guys, we're going to get into the main topic, because like I said, I'm not going to hold you too long tonight because I got some things to do. But we're going to talk about this whole thing with heightism, right? And it's very interesting because this is something that I think is a very specific thing that's going on with the black community, although it's a Western woman thing by and large, but the B-dub is really at the forefront of being some of the main advocates of men having to be over 6 feet and all this type of stuff, right? So we're going to get into this a little bit. And the first thing we're going to do is play this clip. I played it before, and this is when KS kind of brought out the stats about how black women, how superficial black women are, right? So we're going to start off with that. Then we're going to get into some examples. Let's go.
Black women rate looks higher than any other group.
Black women rate looks and height. Looks and height,
man. So, and
if you notice what KS said, he said they rank it higher than, quote, any other group. Any other group. So that means whether it's, cross racial and cultural lines, even gender lines, it's the black women who predominantly have created, or at the very least pushed, this narrative about a man's height, right? Those are the main ones that are doing it. And what's so ironic is that when across different metrics, black women tend to be the ones who are least desired and it's unfortunate because some of us find black women phenotypically attractive, but we definitely don't find that attitude attractive, right? But it's almost like an inverse of the fact that they're the most picky and the most, they're the ones with all these high expectations, but they're the ones that have the least appeal. So it's kind of like if you look at a car lot and the cars that got the most miles on them and they need the most repairs got the highest sticker prices. I mean, it's weird, right? And you wonder why the cars is still sitting on the lot. We're gonna show some clips from the balloon show, but I did over a year ago. I did a broadcast, and I used we used a thumbnail with the car lot. Those used car lots when they put the balloons on the cars to make them more appealing or something. And then we put side by side the car lot with the balloons on them. You've all seen that, with the black women holding the balloons, right? And the title was high miles, high prices, or something like that, where it was weird because it went like this. It was like new car prices, used car mileage, right? So it's very interesting how that works, how they got all these high standards, but at the end of the day, the market value, their sexual market value, unfortunately for them, is at the bottom. But let's get a little bit more of what KS has to say. I'm going to run that part, and we're going to run the rest of the clip. Let's go.
Looks and height. Looks and height.
Looks and height, man. So
and rate looks and height. Looks and height.
Looks and height, man. So and your money.
Is it about the money or is it about the look?
It's about how her friends will perceive her.
It's about how her friends will perceive her, man.
And y'all coming back up.
Ladies, say this shit ain't so.
How many times?
And if you look at T.I., he's shocked, right? And that's kind of like the average man out there. They don't realize just how superficial the black women are. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, how, like KS just said, it's kind of like a pissing contest between them and their friends. It's not even about the intrinsic value of whatever it is. It's just them trying to compete with each other, right? Well, let's get some more.
I've been in a club and I'm standing next to a guy who's a contractor and he's out earning all the brothers standing in suits, but the women will laugh at the contractor.
Okay, let me see what y'all saying in the comment. Will says, let me see. Cortez says, what did Ken say? He said, they don't require Brad to be tall. Yeah, you know what? That's very interesting that you say that, King C and Red. I'm going to pull out something that I think you guys are going to find very interesting a little later. So just sit tight. But that's an interesting point. He said they don't require that. They don't require Brad to be tall, right? Okay. And then D says, we see the fathers of their children. The height thing really isn't a thing. Yeah, we're going to get into it. And Cortez says, Ken, facts, black women literally lower the standard for everything else. Even the African men can be short. Okay. And then Will says, they going to hate you, Mr. G. You mean more than they already do? I don't know. And then Cortez says, that's what I've been saying. We can prove that they don't care about height. Okay. But I'm gonna bring out an angle that I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with. We're gonna get into it. And then Shadow Zulu says height is only for the working black man. Height does not apply to Thuggo and the Snowman. Okay. It said they prefer cats straight out of jail/prison. Okay, so yep, they baby daddies are broke. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, just hold on to those thoughts, guys. We're gonna get into it. Let's go.
In the black community, I tell women, if you want a good man, the majority of men making over 6 figures got a truck.
Damn. A word truck.
And the dudes that's in the suits got a bill.
Where did you get these statistics?
Blackdemographics.com.
God damn, you even have an answer for that.
Okay, so you heard it right there from KS, and what he's saying is documented. We know that to be true. He pulled out the stats from blackdemographics.com. We've referred to them quite a bit. We've shown stats from there as well because we like to be right and exact and have all our facts and ducks in a row. But let's get into some of these clips about this balloon show, and we're gonna point out a few things, right? And again, I kind of take these balloon shows with a grain of salt. However, we know that it kind of plays out like that in reality anyway. So some of these situations might be real on this show. However, we're taking this as an example of what actually happens in the real world. So let's get the first clip right here.
Just a PSA, if his height starts with a 6 and his weight starts with a 2, there's a 90% chance that he's hot.
You funny and all, but like, you a midget. I can't do it. I'm sorry, baby. It's the height, but we could be friends. We could, we could kick it.
So this was from that show. I thought I was going to do the balloon one first, but I'm going to do this one first. This is that smash or pass show or whatever. And, it's just a nice little montage of these women allegedly rejecting these short dudes. But let's get it.
You already know what I just said. Y'all have to pass. I'm sorry, but pass.
Now, if you notice, they are actually the same height. And what you will find is that these women, they're even passing up dudes that are slightly taller than them. And again, I'm going to get into the reasons for that. It may not be what you think. You guys are correct in your assessments in that some of the men from these other groups, like the white man and others, they might not have as many requirements for them. And I'm going to go into why that is. But just sit tight. Let's get a little bit more. We're going to first show these clips. And we're going to break these down, and then we're going to get into what's really going on. Let's go.
I almost feel bad. I'm past.
I ain't even get on your toes. I'm just passing.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm a pass because I'm kind of tall. I'm a pass because you're my homie. I can see over you.
Yeah, so this is pretty interesting how, they're all pretty much passing over the same dude, right? But let's go.
Height.
What do you mean?
Hey man, tell her if you spending your money.
Hey, talk that shit. Let him get your money.
I'm a pass though. You gotta be a little taller, baby, because I feel like
And this broad is shorter than him. Talking about you gotta be a little taller. Let's go.
I'm gonna run you.
Now, did you hear what she told him? She told him that she's going to run him. Now he's still taller than her, but in her mind, she's so distorted. She don't even acknowledge the fact that this is a man, just because he's, I guess, slightly taller than her. She's taking that as an occasion to mean that somehow she's going to quote run this dude. That's crazy. Let's go.
Like, excuse me. I feel like I would run you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, big dog shit over here. I'm a pass.
What? This is crazy, man. I don't see how you guys are. I know you guys over here, the Knight Riders, you ain't dealing with this, but for the guys still in the West, I don't even know why they would even be communicating with women like this. But let's go. Yeah, so it's just more of that. But let me get to this next one. I got some clips from that balloon show. Let's pull that up real quick. Yeah, let's get it. Oh yeah, D says, now what it will say. He said, I think the comments are loading slow. He said, Will says the average height of men worldwide is about 5'9". Yeah, you're right. And then the ones of us who are over 6 feet, I think that's only like 14% of the population. And once you get to about the 6'3" mark and above, that's like 3%. And anything higher than that is like 1%. And you would think that some of these women who have these exorbitant requirements, they themselves would be in the top 1%, but they're not, right? But let's go.
The beginning, but
all right, let's stop for a second.
Okay.
So you said I was short and I wasn't smiling.
Nope, you was like this. Oh, so how?
Oh, this clip acting goofy. Hold on. Make sure this one's.
And I don't want to look you in your face like this. I want to look up to my height, and I don't want to look.
Okay, so this broad right here, she's basically telling this dude that she don't want to. She want to be able to look up to her man, right? Okay, but let's get some.
Look you in your face like this. I want to look up to my man. I should have popped in the beginning, but
all right, let's stop for a second.
Okay.
So you said I was short.
Yeah, this. Let me see what's going on with this clip.
Look you in your face like this. I want to look up to my man. I should have popped in the beginning, but
all right, let's stop for a second.
Okay.
So you said I was short and I wasn't smiling.
Nope, you was like this.
Oh, so how tall are you? Because you said he's short, but he's taller than you.
Yeah, but he's not like.
Oh my gosh, I'm not like above her. Like that's.
You just right here. Like I can.
How tall are you?
Yeah, I think you guys can hear it, but for some reason it's dragging. Let me try this other one. This other clip, because this one's acting goofy. Let me get this other one, and then I'll come back to that one.
I'm Paige.
Paige, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Okay, and what do you do?
I'm a grad student in an occupational therapy program.
Go ahead and pop. Eddie, why'd you have your balloon unpop?
Yeah, I like your smile. I wanted to hear a little bit more, get to know you a little bit more, so yeah.
Okay. All right, so why do you end up popping his?
The only thing is I understand I'm short. I get that. I am pretty short and I'm shorter, you know, but it's just you're short too. So that's it.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm like 4'11".
Oh.
Wait a minute. So this broad is talking about she's 4'11", built like that. I mean, she got to be like over 200 pounds, but she's claiming that the guy's too short, but she's 4'11". But at the end of the day, she, like a lot of these women, they're holding the men to a whole different standard than what they hold themselves, right? And then, like Dee said, they only have this energy from black males. Yeah, we're going to go into some of the reasons for that. And Shao Zulu says these shows would die instantly if dudes would just refuse to go on them. Dudes should stop wasting their time on these silly balloon shows. Yeah, I think it's a bad look, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's something for all us to comment on because it does provide an insight as to the dysfunction as in why a lot of these women are in the situations that they're in. So from that standpoint, it's cool. You know, I don't mind dissecting them, but I agree with you. It's kind of crazy. But let's get it.
Oh my God. Okay, and how tall are you again, Eddie?
5'9".
5'9".
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's substantially taller than her because she's claiming, okay, she's 4'11", he's 5'9". That's a significant difference. But in her goofy ass mind, that's not good enough. So somehow, some way, it doesn't balance out, even though he's substantially taller. And again, I'm going to go into why. We're going to have to, you know, we're going to point out a few things a little bit later. So just think about that for a minute. Back in the day, it was not uncommon to see a husband and wife that were not that far apart as far as their height. And across other cultures, whether you look at Asian cultures, Hispanic cultures, you'll see a bunch of pairings where the men and the women are almost essentially the same height. But at the end of the day, that man is still the head of the household, and their women don't hold their height as some type of standard by which they can't respect them, or somehow they have to see this visual representation of him towering over her just for her to be able to get her panties wet, or wherever the case, you know, get her juices flowing. He has to be at this magical number of 6 feet and above, right? No other cultures operate like that. And then Will says she's on the obese side of the game. And then Chalzula says 4'11" and she wants a man 17'99". That might, hey man, if that was something they could get, they would probably go for that, and then be complaining later. He says right at that height, she's very heavy. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I know she's substantially over 200 pounds at 4'11", shaped the way she is. Let's go. And what's so weird, she thinks that she can be in a position to be that arbitrary and be that picky. What if a guy doesn't want a 4'11" woman that weighs over 200 pounds, right? I mean, what's wrong with you? What makes you think you are in such a position that you could be that picky? But again, we're going to get into it a little bit later as to why they operate like this. Let's go.
Listen,
I know, but you see, like,
see what?
He can look over your head.
yeah, but I can't, like,
So you
look
want to
up.
like tippy toe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how ridiculous the game then got. That these women are out here talking all this nonsense. I got another one too, and I'm gonna try that other clip again. Let's go.
My name is Joff.
Joff, how old are you?
28.
And what do you do?
I'm a data engineer for a health tech company. I'm also a musician.
And what are some of your deal breakers?
If you smoke cigarettes, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I know people smoke weed nowadays, so like, you can smoke moderate. Don't let me feel like I'm on a date with Wiz Khalifa or I'm Snoop Dogg, you know? Like,
I'm Janaya, I'm 25.
okay. Nice to meet you.
Why'd you end up popping your balloon?
Now that's just an average type of guy, right? Nothing wrong with him, but because he didn't come in the game 6'9" or whatever, they got an issue with him. But let's go.
Just not my typical go for, Just wasn't physically attracted. When I see my man, I want to be like, yes.
I get it.
Okay. So what do you typically go for? Just, I would say more on the taller side.
Okay. Like how tall? Like 6'9"?
Maybe.
How goofy is gonna say maybe? She didn't even say no, that's too tall, because you know how much of an anomaly that is. That is literally NBA material. We know how small of a percentage NBA players are to the whole population, right? But this goofy ass Raggedy Annie reject is sitting up here talking about, she wanted a guy that's 6'9", right? That's got to be like 1% of the population, but that's what she's so goofy and so unrealistic that she's expecting a guy 6'9" to I guess put her in a 6'9", but let's go.
I get it. Okay.
So how tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah.
With the boots, I'm 6'4".
Okay, so this dude is above average height. He's over 6 feet. So I guess those of us who are over 6 feet, I guess we're too short now. So you see, and some of these goofy broads would be asking the question as to why those of us who are taller, why we would even be concerned, because they're so carnal in their thinking. They can't understand that those of us who have honor and integrity, that we're looking at this as being ridiculous. And a lot of us, we don't even care really, because we don't even move in those circles. But we do have friends, we got family, we know guys. I got you guys who come over here and listen. Some of you guys may be average height, and you got to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. They're the problem, and their warped sense of entitlement and their warped standards. So it's not that you're short. Even like if somebody's 5'8", 5'9", whatever the average is, that's not short. But they've created a false narrative as if guys who are average height are somehow short, when in actuality they themselves are shorter than the average guys. But then they'll sit up here, even a guy like it, he's literally above average height, but she's telling him that he's too short. Crazy. And then he said he's taller than Julio Jones. King Red said, those of you over 6 feet are not white. Yep, that might be the missing ingredient, King Red. Let's go. And he says, once again, they are slow. He said, if feminism exacerbated it. Yeah, that's part of it too. Let's go.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so even how goofy she is, she had to even laugh when she found out he was over 6 feet, because you know, you can't even say nothing after that. But let's play that again real quick.
No, I would say more on the taller side.
okay. Like how tall? Like 6'9"?
Maybe.
I get it. Okay.
So how tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah.
With the boots,
Realistically,
I'm 6'4". Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys should never subject yourself to this type of foolery. It's like Shadow Zulu said earlier. I don't even know why these guys are going on these goddamn shows, to be honest. All it does, I mean, it gives us good content, and again, it exposes how ridiculous they are with these bullshit standards. But at the end of the day, it's also feeding into that delusion, because if you're putting yourself out there for these women to reject you off of some BS reasons. It is just not a good look. And like King C and Red, or I think it was Shadow Zulu said, they really shouldn't even be going on these shows, to be honest. And then Shadow says 6'2" is short now. The bar has been set to 6'6". Now next year is gonna be 6'9". But you know what's so funny, Shadow? The good thing is that they just keep weeding themselves out, because again, we already know the stats. Guys who are above 6 feet are only 14% of the population. That's already a minority. And because there is such a high demand, a lot of those guys are not even available. And even if they are on the market, they busting through a bunch of women. You better believe that, right? The other part is, if they're 6'3" and above, that's only like 3% of the population. Once you get above that, then you're talking 1% or less. So it's literally impossible for most of these women to get what they're looking for. But yet they'll still be rejecting the average guys who are all around them. And it's really stupid. But again, we're going to go a little deeper a little bit later, and I'm going to break down some of why this might be going on. And then D says LeBron is 6'9", right? You know what? I'm not sure. I think that sounds about right. I once met Magic Johnson. I met him. In fact, I told you guys when I met Exhibit, I believe that was last week or so. I actually met Magic Johnson the same day I met Exhibit. We were in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles out there in Hollywood, and me and my friend was sitting at the table. My friend, my buddy, he's tall too. I think he's taller than me. I think he's like 6'4". But we're sitting down, we're chilling, and then I look over to my right, and then Magic Johnson was sitting over there eating, right? So my friend, he lives out there, so he runs into celebrities all the time. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy, right? Magic Johnson just sitting over there chilling. He says, yeah, man, let's go over and talk to him. All right, word. So we go over there, we holler at him. He's very cool. Magic Johnson's a nice guy, but he stands up to greet us, right? And for the first time in my life, I felt like a damn midget. I don't know. I think Magic Johnson is like maybe 6'9", 6 or something like that. But he stood up, and he's not just tall. I mean, he's a big dude, right? So I felt very short next to Magic Johnson. And he shook my hand and everything, but that's a rarity, right? And like I said, in my life, I think that was the first person I ran into that made me feel short. Because most of the time, even if I'm around somebody that's close to my height, I'm still, I still know that I'm tall. But Magic Johnson, when he stood up and he was big and tall, I'm like, yeah, he got to be like 6'9". So, but that's rare. And then D said, how tall is Magic? Yeah, I don't know how tall he is, but he was like towering over me and my friend. Because like I said, my friend's a little taller than me. And he was towering over both of us. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is about 6'9". But let me get another clip right here. Let's see, did I play this one already? I think I did. Hold on.
Just a PSA,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is my man Darius. I thought he had some more. Yes, that smash or pass one. Let me try to play this other clip again. The one with this blonde-haired bimbo, what she was talking about. Let me see. It was moving kind of slow. Let me see if it plays this time. Yeah, some of these clips be acting goofy, so yeah, I'm gonna skip this one because it's not playing correctly. But essentially, the clip right here, let me get it down off the screen. That one right there, the broad was basically just saying that the guy was too short and she wanted to be able to look up to her man and all this type of stuff, right? And they want to feel secure and all that. And I'm calling cap on that. I'm going to explain why. We're going to get into it shortly, but we're going to talk about this. I'm going to play this clip of this woman right here.
Be real honest with you, you little women that always talk about, I want a guy who's 6 foot, this and that. Count your days. I'm coming after you. Literally, I'm 5'8". Look how big I am. To be real honest with you, you little women.
Okay, so she's actually, I think, having somewhat of a voice of reason. So I'm going to let her see what she got to say. Let's go.
You little women that always talk about, I want a guy who's 6 foot, this and that. Count your days. I'm coming after you. Literally, I'm 5'8". Look how big I am. Touching the ceiling. We belong with guys who are 6 foot. We belong with big guys. You guys are 5 foot. You are.
But even her, you know, I mean, she's a tatted up hooligan or whatever, but she's making an interesting point because those shorter women are the main ones talking about how much they need a taller guy. But she's saying that for a woman, I guess 5'8" is tall. Because a lot of these women, like the one we saw earlier, was like 4'11", and some of these women, a lot of them are under 5 feet or 5 feet even, or 5'2" or something like that, 5'3". So she's 5'8", so she's considered tall for a woman, and she's saying that they're the ones that deserve the tall guys. But at the end of the day, she should be able to get with a guy who's of an average height, because the average height for a guy is still, what, 5'9", right? So even her, she has some sense of entitlement that, you know, they need a guy that's over 6 feet, though, right? And then let's get some more. Oh, what you guys saying in the chat? Shao Zulu says, I'm very disappointed at them. They need to raise the height bar to 500 feet tall in 2025. Yeah, why don't they just cut to the chase and get on with it, right? Say they need a giant like Jack and the Beanstalk. That's what they want now, right? And then D says she looks sick as shit. Yeah, pretty much. And he said, what's the other point? I think D said height don't mean nothing. Yeah, it really doesn't as far as like the quality of an individual. That's what's so stupid about it. But let's get a little bit more with this tatted up woman got to say.
Heels, tacones, anybody's taller than you. I have tacones on right now. And I'm fucking, look at that, how big the door is. Mira. And you mean to tell me that I don't deserve a 6 foot? Mamita, siéntate. Be real honest with you.
Okay, so the point of what she was saying was that there's women that's even shorter than her that have some type of need to get taller guys, but you know, and they're entitled. But even her as a taller woman, you know, she still has a sense of entitlement too. But even from that standpoint, you can see where she has a better case than the ones who are even shorter than her. But it's all ridiculous, and we're going to get into why a little bit later. But yeah, let's get this other clip right here.
The whole thing where women want guys who are 6 feet or taller. Do you know this does not happen in Europe? Do you know why? They measure in centimeters. When we look at the distribution of what women's preferences are on dating apps, it goes 6'3", and then 6'3" is like the highest. Then it goes 6'2", 6'1", 6 foot, and at 5'11", it just drops off a cliff. Whereas a normal distribution would look like this. It goes like this, and then it drops off a cliff once it gets to 5'11", and then 5'3" is like nobody who selects that, right? Does that make sense? This is just a mathematical thing because you guys live in the imperial system. That's the reason why. There's no difference between 6 feet and 5'11", and the reason why women prefer taller men is for survival characteristics. However, the richest men in the world are not, a lot of them aren't even 6 feet tall.
And that was more or less an older thing. See, back in the day, like, if there were more physical threats to women than psychologically, yeah, we can understand why women might want a guy taller. But again, that's an arbitrary number. This 6 feet thing is like kind of like he broke down. It has a lot to do with just the metric system. Because back in the day, a lot of women didn't have those type of BS requirements anyway, right? But there's some truth to the fact that women do want a guy who they can feel secure around, but there's no indication between or no correlation between a guy's height and whether or not he can be a protector. There's a lot of tall guys who are punks, right? And there are a lot of shorter guys who will give you that work. It's as simple as that. So I don't believe that that's the main reason that a lot of these women are nowadays, these modern women wanting guys who are taller, particularly black men, because I'm glad you guys pointed out the fact that there are exceptions to be made. Because some of these women's favorite celebrities that they'll go gaga over, these guys are shorter guys. That's another point that people overlook. These guys that impregnate these women, like I think it was Dia, somebody said earlier, a lot of their baby daddies are short dudes. So it's kind of funny when they want to get out there and talk about this is their standard, but then reality kicks in and they realize that those type of dudes are not available to them, so they do wind up getting with the average guys anyway. But let's play a little bit more of this.
So this is just kind of it's what called an evolutionary mismatch. That's the idea behind it. But height is so important to so many women, right? So the percentage of men that are over 6 feet tall in North America, does anybody want to take a guess at what percentage of men are over 6 feet tall?
We can start here and then work our way.
Yeah. Just real quick.
What do you think?
I would say about 4 to 7%.
4 to 7%. What do you think?
Probably like 12 to 15.
Like 20%.
Okay.
Maybe 5.
What do you say?
I'm going with 30.
30?
25. 20.
20?
11.
It's really interesting that even the girls who think that 4% of the men are over 6 feet tall and still want men over 6 feet, it's like you think that you're a statistical anomaly or something like that.
Exactly. So that's a good point that he said right there. Even some of the women that understand that it's such a rarity for them to even come in contact with a man, because let's look at it this way, right? You have that as one of your requirements. So that's already a rarity. That's already a very distant minority. Then you factor in all these other things. He's got to be the right type of personality. He got to have the right type of money. He got to dress the same kind of way, the right way. He got to wear the right type of cologne. He's got to, whatever the case is, whatever goofy metrics they have. All that does is creates an even smaller, minuscule, if not non-existent percentage of the men that they're going to run into. Meanwhile, the guys who would actually be good for them in their life, those are the guys that they overlook. And some of you taller guys can probably attest to this. You've probably seen women pass up shorter guys who were better for them in choosing up on you. Because I've been in situations like that where I know for a fact that there was a specific guy that would have been better for a particular lady, but then they were all up in my face, right? And I wasn't even feeling them like that, but the dude that was more along her height, that was the guy that was for her. That was her person, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys have, if you have a certain height, you've experienced that, because a lot of these women, they'll just throw a lot of these standards out the window if you meet certain requirements. But it's stupid at the end of the day. Even though somebody who might benefit from heightism, if you're smart and if you have integrity, you'll still see that it's a bad thing, because you're still dealing, even if that woman gets with you, she's still very shallow. And that's what she's proven, because she's not looking at the content of the guy. She's not looking at whether or not this guy is really into her, that he would be the one that would treat her the best. She's just trying to fulfill some BS fantasy at the end of the day. And then, I'm going to get a little bit more of what this guy got to say. Let's go.
That's 2 standard deviations outside the norm. It's 14% or over 6 feet tall. And once you get to like 6'3", it's like we're talking 1%.
Yeah, so you heard what he said, right? So it's like I said earlier. If it's over 6 feet, it's only 14%, which is a distant minority. That means they're passing over 85% of the guys, right? 85% of the guys, which is on their level, because a lot of these women are just average and below average themselves. So they're passing up 85%, trying to hold out, all of them holding out for this 14%, or this, once you go over the 6'3" mark, then it's 1%. That's crazy work right there, but that's what they're doing. And they wonder why you guys have checked out and you're just trying to get your life together so that you can go and live the life you want to live, and you're not even playing that game, because that's like a rigged game. You know, this is like if you're playing a card game and the deck is stacked against you, right? Nobody with any sense is going to play a game where the cards are not in your favor and then they're actually rigged against you, right? So that's what these women want to do. But at the end of the day, they're the ones who are going to suffer, because it's them that have the biological clock that then basically ran out. It's like that hourglass that then ran out of sand on their ass, and it's really sad for them. But a lot of what you guys are doing is that you're just getting this information so that you can make the right decisions in your life, and you're not caught up in this foolery. So that's the good thing about it. And again, that's what we was talking about earlier with those balloon shows. A lot of these women don't understand that it really exposes them, and it teaches guys that there's no point of even pursuing something like that, because it's just a waste of time, and you guys could be focused on other things. And that's why a lot of you guys tune into stuff like this. But I'm gonna let him finish up. I think it's pretty much done, but I got another clip on the play after this. Let's go. Yeah. So here's another one from that balloon pop show. Watch this.
33.
And what do you do?
33.
And what
do
you do?
I'm an operations supervisor for a major corporation. Also, I act and model as well.
Okay, nice. What are some things I can do for fun?
For fun, basketball. I like to exercise, travel, and
now why is she pop? So she's gonna pop his balloon because I mean, so far the guy, I guess he got a decent job. He said he likes to exercise. It looks like he's in shape. And this goofy broad is gonna pop his balloon. Let's go.
I'm kind of a foodie. I like different food places as well, fine dining.
Okay, nice. That's a good one. All right, so we did get a few pop balloons. Let's go on over there and see why they ended up popping.
Okay.
All right, if we can start right here, if we can have your name and age.
Renee, I'm 25.
And Renee, what do you do?
I work in law enforcement.
Okay. And why did you end up popping your balloon?
So I think you're very handsome and well-spoken, but you're just kind of short for me, but you're very handsome. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, look at this woman. Let's go back to that one. Look at her body type. So, if you ask me, I think the other guy, his SMV on the market as a man is probably higher than hers, but it's like Shadow Zulu said earlier, guys shouldn't even subject themselves to that, because they get to put themselves out there to have the optics of a woman of her body type with all that garbage ass fake weave on her head. She gets to be in a position where she can just pop some new balloon, pretending like she's somehow better than him, and then she gets to reject him, right? It's ridiculous. It's crazy out here. And then Iman Perry is in the house. He said she be getting bust down by them cops at the workforce. Exactly. You know what? A lot of that's what goes. That's like those correction officer females. Exactly. But salute, Iman is back in the house. Long time no see, bro. And then Will says this life is chess, not checkers. Yeah, but they're not even playing checkers, bro. I don't know what they're doing out here. And like D says, the weave and her weight. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This woman she has the nerve to think that she is in a position where she could be denying this guy when if they were on the street, he probably looked right past her. I'm quite sure that she's not even his type, but this woman's type is the guy with the damn beer belly, the guy with the dad bod. This other dude that she calls herself rejecting, he looks like he's in shape. He says he works out and all that stuff. She don't. Look at her gut. Look at all this stuff. It's ridiculous. She's not even on the same level as this dude. But she's talking about because of his quote height, which again, he's probably taller than her, but it's ridiculous. Let's go.
You're just kind of short for me, but you're very handsome. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Kamina, and I'm 27 years old.
And Kamina, what do you do?
I am a real estate assistant.
A real estate assistant, in other words, she's a secretary. Let's go.
It's also the height for me.
Somebody's also the height for her, right?
And how tall are you? Because he looks like he's towering over you.
Okay, here, watch this.
I'm 6 feet
It's
tall.
because I have.
So he's 6 feet. So apparently, I think it was like Shadow, one of you guys said earlier, they didn't move the bar, so now 6 feet is short. Because the dude is 6 feet. And it's like the host just said, he said he's towering over you. So again, I'm not unreasonable. I know that some women prefer men that are taller than them. Fair enough, right? I get it. But these women are so delusional that they didn't put in their mind some delusional, artificial goal of what this man has to be, which is unrealistic. And the guy is clearly taller than her. And like the host says, he's actually towering over her. So what the hell is she talking about that is his height? Let's go.
You're. Well, yeah.
Right.
See, that's why she didn't start laughing. See, they'll do that little goofy ass laugh when you catch it, when you point out their stupidity. And look at her grill. I mean, come on. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. This woman, and her shape is kind of busted as well. I mean, you know, I like her skin tone, and she looks, she ain't bad looking, but her body type is whack. You know, she looks like she's wrapped in a hefty bag and all of this type of stuff, but she got the audacity to be sitting up here talking about the guy's too short, and when it comes to find out that he's 6 feet, now all she can do is laugh. But then we're going to be the same women when she gets post-wall, then she's going to be wondering why she's sitting around by herself with her cats, that is. But let's go.
Right. So how tall are you? He said he's 6 feet.
Dude, she's 5'1". He's 6 feet, but she's 5'1", and she's complaining that he's too short. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Let's go.
Well, my first strike was the height thing. Like, not because you're the height that you are, but you said you were 6 feet and you're not 6 feet.
And she's sitting up there going to tell this guy how tall he is, because they don't even understand what 6 feet is. And a lot of these women be wearing heels, which is adding like 5 to 6 inches to their height, and the guy's still taller than them, but then they're going to sit there and doubt him and make it seem like he don't know what size he is, but he's going to say he just recently went and got himself measured, and that's how tall he is. But let's go.
I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I don't think you're 6 feet. Like, I'm almost eye to eye with you, and I'm not that tall. But go ahead.
I mean, I recently got measured at the DMV, and
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry if I'm wrong. My eyes are deceived.
Yeah, they're wrong because again, they're so delusional that even when what they claim they want shows up, it still ain't good enough. It's crazy. And what you guys saying in the chat? He said they just repeat what they hear other biatches say online. Yeah, that's what it is. They are the most influenced by social media than any other women. I think the American B-dub is probably the most brainwashed when it comes to social media than anybody else, bar none. And then Will's laughing. And then Shadow says, we need an executive order to make all men 500 feet tall. Yeah, exactly. He said, Will says, wrapped up in a garbage bag. Yeah, that's what she looked like. And had the nerve to be talking about, dude, that's crazy. He said, they are so easily manipulated. Perpetual children, yeah. But look, you guys are getting this information because you know that you are moving differently, but it's good to know how a lot of these people, these women are thinking so that you can avoid those pitfalls, because it ain't worth it at the end of the day. It really is not. If I was a young man out there like you guys, man, I'd be stacking my bread, getting up out of there. That's just me. But let's get a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more. Oh yeah. What I want to do is talk about what might be one of the key reasons, because like I told you guys earlier, I'm going to hit this from a different angle, right? And the angle to this whole thing, and the reason why a lot of these women, particularly black women in America, because this is unique to them, because when you go into different cultures, other black women from whether it be Latin cultures or in Africa or wherever, all these different cultures where you may see black women who are not raised in the West, specifically America, they don't have those type of requirements for their counterparts in their respective communities and cultures, right? So what is it about the American black woman that believes that somehow they are entitled to having a man that is towering over them? Well, I'm going to tell you. One of the reasons that people may not consider is that these women literally believe that they themselves, just for them being a woman, that they themselves are above you in every way. So if they see you as either the height that they are or shorter, then that to them does not balance out, because coming in the door, they intrinsically believe, and I want you to be very clear about this, gentlemen, they actually believe that they are in every way better than you. They think they're stronger than you. They think they're smarter than you. In fact, we did a broadcast last year where we said they actually believe that they're smarter than you. Look at D. He says, absolutely. Yeah, you know what I'm saying is true. They believe in every single way possible that they are better than you. And like D just said, because of feminism, exactly, because that's what it's taught them. And unlike some of these other women, the B-dub literally believes the tenets of feminism. See, white women, to a large extent, they know it's bullshit. See, what they'll do is play the little game, because they use it like a political football. They're not hook, line, and sinker brainwashed into believing the tenets of feminism, because you notice when the going gets tough, white women know how to get their ass in line and fall under the leadership of their men. You ever notice that? For all the talk that white women say about feminism and how they're, independent and whatever, when the shit hits the fan, they know how to get behind their men. Who was the main one that was secretly voting for Trump? It was white women. So a lot of these white women, they'll push the B-dubs out there to take the bullets and the slings and to destroy their communities and to create this acrimony between them and their men. Meanwhile, they're not going to do it. But these black women, as part of their digesting feminism, they literally, and I want you to understand this directly, they literally believe this stuff. And they are some of the few women, like we said earlier, they are the most manipulable. I mean, you can manipulate them better, more than anybody. So all of this brainwashing that has happened over the past 40 to 50 years with feminism, they literally believe it. So they think they're better than you. That's why they are so quick to be able to leave you. That's why, even though a lot of them will be the one to initiate wanting to get married, they're the first ones to want to file for divorce, because they feel like you're expendable. That's why, regardless as to what the numbers say, in terms of how rare it is to get a man over 6 feet, they will discard men like I just showed you on those shows. They would just pop their balloon or act like they got a whole crop of men out there that are 6 feet that they can choose from, that they can just arbitrarily just dismiss any man out there. And the reason why they're able to do this so easily is because they believe to their core that they're better than you. So if you come in the door, you can't just be equal size or slightly taller. You got to be literally a NBA player. You got to be 6'9", just for them to have the psychological comfort to realize that somehow there's some way to balance it out. Because as far as she's concerned, when she comes in the door, she's already towering over you. So she thinks she's got more money than you. She thinks she's smarter than you. She thinks she's more intelligent than you. She thinks she's in every way better than you. So she needs at least a psychological boost to see you physically over her, because she thinks she's so much better than you. Now here's the rub right here. The reason why she don't require that of the white man is because she don't think she's better than the white man because she looks at the white man as her God. And so when it comes to you, you got to compensate with all this extra height or this other extreme. And that's why, to your point as to why the quote thugs don't require that, is because he's coming with another extreme. His extreme is being extremely dumb and extremely violent and all these other things that are overcompensating. So in her mind, he's like a tool that she can still have some degree of control over. And so that's why the thuggo, he can get a pass on the height thing because he's an extreme in another way. See, she can only deal with you in extremes. You either got to be extremely tall, extremely rich, extremely thugged out, or something like that, because in the door, she thinks just because she was born with a vagina that she's coming in the door with all of the value. So therefore, no matter the fact that you are maybe slightly taller than her or that you are above average, that's not good enough, because at the end of the day, she's already towering over you in her mind. And seeing you being her size or just a little bit taller, that doesn't equal out in her weird ass deluded, distorted mind. It just reinforces the fact that she's better than you. So they at least need a physical representation that somehow it balances out. Because if a woman's 4'11", they're so arrogant and ridiculous, she don't think she's met her someone that she can respect unless he's damn near 7 feet tall, right? Because in her mind, she's already above any other man who's average height or slightly above. So she's got to go with the top 0.1% of men, because that's how much superior she is to your ass in her mind. Exactly. So you guys, what y'all saying in the chat? He says, D said that shit is amazing. He said feminism has effed them up psychologically. Yeah, that's what I told you, bro. He said, and it's like none of them are exempt. Yep. It's a complete brainwashing on a mass scale. And he said the so-called Black American female is most feminist-minded feminists on the planet, and many of them don't even call themselves feminists. Yeah, they don't have to, because they've created a culture in the Black community, and I hate to even call it a community at this point, but it's so much of a matriarchy that it's just a de facto rule. It's just what it is. They just think that they are the ones that are running everything, and that the height is just a symptom of the fact that they already believe they're taller than you in terms of status, in terms of economics. And we pulled out the numbers. We all know it's BS, but this is what they believe. The average woman, and again, this isn't just the B-dub that thinks that they're better, it's the westernized women. And I'm going to pull out some clips to show you. In fact, let me go ahead and do that real quick now. That's why I told you guys I'm going to bring to this a slightly different angle. It's not so much as they want a man for protection when it comes to their height. That's BS. And let me show you why that's BS, right? You can easily show that it's BS that these women want a man nowadays. Now, back in the past, when women were somewhat more sane, that might have been one of the motivations, was that they wanted a man taller than them so that they can feel secure. That's not the issue today. And the reason why we know that's bullshit is because a lot of these women are the ones running around saying they can do bad by themselves, or they're strong and independent and they don't need no man, right? So if you are so concerned about your well-being and your security, why are you willing to overlook men who are average height or above because they don't reach this magical number if you're so concerned about your own protection? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't it be more of a protection to have a man as opposed to being by yourself? So that's definitely BS, the fact that they'll try to make this argument, well, he got to be tall because I need to have that security. No, that can't be it, because you would prefer to be alone than to deal with a man that's closer to your height. When in actuality, if you were strictly going for security and being safe, then you wouldn't care how tall he was. You would just make sure that he was a man and he had a masculine personality, and that he was a man standing on business, and you would prefer to be with that than to be by your damn self. But a lot of them, they claim that they don't need no man and they're strong and independent, so therefore you can throw that part of the argument out the door. It has nothing to do with them wanting the man to be tall simply because they need that sense of protection or security, because if that were the case, then they would be getting with men regardless as to their height. So again, it falls back into, like I said, they already think they're better than you, and particularly from the black men that are in America, and the B-dubs that are in America. The society and the propaganda and the culture has brainwashed them into believing that in every way possible they're better than you, so therefore you are nothing more than an item that they can use to try to compare and get into a pissing contest with their other delusional females. Because guess what? Here's another thing people don't talk about, is that these women, they play this psychological game with each other. Because if you got two women, right, one of them got a man that's, say, 5'11", and the other one got a man that's 6'2". The woman that has the man that's 6'2", even though they're friends, she's going to feel like in some way she's superior to her friend because she happens to have a man that's taller than her man. You understand? So it's just like they going to compare their little bags or their goofy-ass hairdos. They do this type of psychological warfare with each other, and they just use you guys as tools. So when they start talking about height, it's not so. There's no practical reason for them to want a guy over 6 feet other than bragging rights to compare to another delusional broad. It's just like the reason why they pay all that money for these designer bags and getting their hair done. They're in this competition with each other. It has nothing to do with any practical reason. Like I said, it has nothing to do with them wanting a taller guy because of a sense of protection, because these are the same broads talking about they don't need a man and they can do it all by themselves. So again, you can't be too concerned about your protection if you don't even want a man at all, you know, if he's not at a certain height. Because if you are about protection, you would want a man there regardless as to his height, because you're quote more protected with him around you than with if he's not around you, right? But I'm going to show you guys some clips to further illustrate my point, because I'm going to show you that a lot of these women literally do, and I mean across the board. It's the B-dub, it's white women, it's a lot of these women, they're grown up in the West and have digested all that propaganda, all those Marvel movies with the 5-foot woman kicking grown-ass men around and all this type of stuff. They actually believe that. See, when we watch stuff like that, we know we're looking at a damn movie, and we know it's all fantasy, right? These women, when they see stuff like that, they actually think they can whoop a real man's ass. How many times have you seen a woman buck up in a man's face who's half his size, and she's actually talking like she can literally whoop his ass? We've all seen it, right? Got my man Bama in the house, and then he says, "Oh, you in here cooking tonight?" "Oh yeah, bro. You know we have to hit this subject hard because it's crazy." But yeah, check out these clips though, man. We're gonna get into it, because this is gonna further illustrate my point that these women, literally, in every sense of the word, they believe they're better than you, and they think that they don't need men. All right, let's go.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
Honestly, no.
Now, these are white women. Now, if these white women are saying to the question of, do you need men? And their answer, and they didn't even hesitate. I'm going to play that back. You see the question that he asked, and look how fast they're saying no.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
Honestly, no.
So, what do you think the B-dub, because like we established earlier, the B-dub is the one who has digested most of the feminism. Even the white women don't believe in feminism to the extent that the B-dub does. And even they, with their goofy ass, is sitting up here talking about they don't need men, right? Which we're going to debunk a little bit later, but I'm just showing you how delusional these women are and how disconnected they are from the reality of the situation. But let's go.
Do we need men?
No,
Why?
because they suck.
Okay, so right in the same video, this woman's talking about men suck, right? And that they don't need men. But watch this. 85% of the military is men. 98.5% of the construction is men. So you don't need men, but you wouldn't even have a building to go into and get on your damn internet to talk about how much you don't need men without men. Isn't that funny? But let's go. Firemen are 92.1%. Pilots are 90%, or you might as well say 91% of the pilots are men. Now, wasn't it a situation where these recent crashes, wasn't those women pilots? So even that small percentage of women that are pilots, they probably have a higher percentage of crashes. But yet and still, they're the ones that say they don't need men. And 90% of the pilots, 91% of the pilots are men. And in the smaller percentage of women, they probably have a higher percentage of those crashes. Because I think just recently, that those crashes that we saw in the news, I think those were women pilots, if I'm not mistaken. But let's go. 82.2% of the farmers are men. So you can't even eat without men. Let's go. Landscapers, 90.3%. Carpenters, 99%. And as someone who has hired many carpenters, I've never once hired a woman carpenter. And if they ever showed up trying to get work from me, I would respectfully decline and give me a man to do the job. But 99% of the carpenters are men. So how the hell they don't need men? But they'll be the first ones crying about, if something gets broke in the house because they don't know how to do a goddamn thing. And another thing that's so funny, you ever see a woman react to like an insect or a small rodent or something like that? They are freaking out. And as men or even as boys, when we were young, we used to catch stuff like that, right? I know me myself, when I was a kid, I used to go out there, love going out in the field or whatever, because I lived part of my time growing up in Chicago and part of my time in Alabama with my father's side of the family. And I love being out in the woods, catching bugs, catching frogs and snakes and stuff and turtles. I used to love to do that, right? I was a city boy, but I used to love to go down to the south to be with my father's people. And I remember one time I was out there, I was doing something, and some girls were down there playing jump rope. And all of a sudden, they started screaming and running. And I run down there seeing what was going on. And a little garden snake came out. And they're running. And these are country girls. So they're down there. You would think they'd be used to it. I'm a guy from the city, right? But I'm just down there, visiting. And they're running and crying and stuff. And I just take a little rock. And I go and I kill the snake, right? And then I go back to do what I'm doing. And then they come back and start playing jump rope. So I'm just one boy, right? At the time, I may have been 9 years old. But it was a bunch of girls down there jump roping. There was about 10 of them. And all of them were scared of this little snake. And it took one boy, me, to go down there and kill the damn snake. But yeah, they don't need men, right? Let's go. Inventors are damn near 80% of inventions are from men. Let's go. Police are 82%. And then let's break it down even further. The percentages of the women that are in these occupations, a lot of times they're just doing desk work or artillery, just like in the military. They're not on the front line. They're not the ones out there doing the heavy lifting. So even the percentages that they make up in these particular professions, they're not the ones out there on the line. They're not doing the stuff that the men are doing. So it's crazy. Let's go. Yeah, so I just wanted to show that. And we're going to go a little bit further into that point, because sometimes you just got to remind these women about what it is that men do, right? Because they get it twisted and they get in their mind, they get very delusional, right? So this next clip is going to kind of show this and how this works. So check this out.
Militant intersectional feminists become trad wives the moment reality hits.
Anything men can do, we can do better.
Okay, so I like what the dude said. Pay attention to what he said, right? I'm going to play it back. He said that these, no matter how radical and feminized they are, at least when it comes to the white women, I don't know, the B-dub might be too delusional to even accept what's going to happen, what I'm going to show you in this video, but check this out.
Feminists become militant intersectional feminists.
He said militant intersectional feminists, right?
Become trad wives.
He said they become trad wives
the moment reality hits.
Anything men can do, we can do better.
Okay, so watch this.
Thieves and beggars, never shall we die. All together.
And some of you have had jobs, something like that, you know, where it was something very dirty. Some of you might be carpenters. Some of you may have worked in sewers. Some of you, I don't care if it's just, you know, being the garbage man or whatever. You guys have done a lot of work that these women wouldn't dream of doing in their worst nightmares. But then they think they got the nerve to fix their mouth to say that they don't need men, right? Let's go.
Voice the colors high.
Reject delusions, embrace gender differences.
Correct. Now,
Where's my sandwich?
So there you have it right there. So that's kind of what we were pointing out when I did that video saying that they think they're smarter than us. And I showed that, you know, a lot of the major professions, and this was specifically dealing with black men, a lot of the professions that black men are in, such as engineering, construction, truck driving, whatever, a lot of these very difficult professions that black men are doing, and even on average, black men make more money than black women. But to hear them tell it, they're the ones bossing up, making all the money, and that somehow what they're doing is more important than you guys, and you're the ones that's out here keeping everything running, and they're somewhere at a desk job pushing papers around, and then they want to make this false equivalency, or it's not even a false equivalency. They literally think they're better than you. That's the crazy part. And then D says, if I were in my late 20s, early 30s, I would have taken advantage of the offshore opportunities. Yeah. But guess what? You wouldn't have any competition for any women for those jobs, because I guarantee you those offshore jobs are primarily dominated by men, right? And those are some crucial jobs. And that's what keeps the lights on and keeps everything going, so that these women can sit up and start complaining about how much they don't need men. Meanwhile, everything would stop if not for men. But that's the level of delusion. But when it comes to the B-dub, it's a special kind of delusion, because they, even in the face of these facts, in their mind, they believe that intrinsically, no matter what the man is doing, they're still better than him. And they just see you guys as like these drones or these worker bees, and they're sitting back as the queen bee. And of course, you're supposed to be doing all the dirty work because you're inferior. You understand? See, I want you to understand the mindset. See, these women from these other groups, as delusional as they are, when they actually see the work that the men are putting in, then they could respect it. They'll be like, oh, okay, they ain't doing that. But the B-dub is single-handedly so delusional that even if you show her a video like that, all she's going to do in her twisted mind is say, well, yeah, he should be doing that because, you know, he's like the worker bee, right? She gets to sit back and have you as a servant catering to her needs. And so therefore she don't have to do all this stuff. But at the same time, you know, if you were not doing it, she damn sure couldn't do it. And she's trying to claim somehow that she's better than you. It's really sick. But let's get some more. Check this out.
Women have no clue of what men want because y'all run around with lashes,
you know, I only
fake hair, all this bullshit,
right?
And you can ask 100 men, 98 of them will say, I want a natural woman. But for some reason, y'all in competition with each other. Y'all think that natural beauty is ugly. Y'all done got away from being feminine. Y'all not even confident. I FaceTime a woman in the morning, she got her shit to the ceiling because she don't want to let me see her with her natural face.
Yeah, but they want you to be real in everything that you do, right? And like the guy said, they're in competition with each other, which ties into my earlier point, which is when they are talking about how much they want a guy that's 6 feet, it's like an arms race between them. That's why they have to keep pushing the envelope, because it has nothing to do with a practical reason. Number one, they think they're better than you, so therefore you got to come in with all of these great attributes which are above average, just so she can, in her mind, think that you are, quote, worthy to be in her presence. That's how delusional they are. But let's get some more about what this brother's saying. Let's go.
You that embarrassed of yourself. You're not happy with yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Who are y'all selling yourselves?
Yep, he hit the nail on the head right there. He said it ain't got nothing to do with us. So a lot of you guys who may be shorter, and I know a lot of you guys over here rolling with the Knight Riders, you ain't got that kind of problems. You don't judge your value based on what some 304, some ran through Banshee B-Dub. You know, you don't care about her opinion of you. I get it. But some of our viewers may be new, because we got a lot of new subscribers. And I just want to make sure as they're watching these playbacks, so some of these guys might be insecure about their height. You guys hear about the guy, and I meant to put that clip in my folder, the guy who went and got a surgery done just so he can make himself taller. You remember that? I forgot how tall the guy was, but when he got through having his surgery, he was, I think, 6 feet or over. This guy went through a whole surgery. I think they had to break his legs, or however they do it. It's really extreme. Just so he could get to the point, because he was made to feel so bad because of his height, that he felt that was his only resort. And if some of you guys are listening to this, I don't want anybody that's over here on this channel or listening to it to feel that low about themselves that they have to acquiesce and appease the likes of a 304 and what they want, and that you will go and do something like that to yourself. It was really sad that a man would feel the need to do that just to kind of feel like he was worthy, right? And it wasn't just him. It's a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing, that guys were literally getting surgeries to make themselves taller. It's crazy. But that is how extreme it can get when men internalize this type of foolery. And we could tell based on the voting numbers that came out for Kamala that at least 80% of the men that voted, because we're not saying that all the black men, voted, right? But of the ones that did vote, 80-something% of them were voting for Kamala the Chameleon. So what does that tell you? That these men are following the lead of the women. So if the women want a man to be tall at all costs, because they've been so programmed and simplified that that's what they're going to do. And it's going to cost them dearly in the long run, because she's probably going to wind up still getting knocked up by a thug that was 5'5". And meanwhile, this dude that sat up here, paid all that money, went through all that drama and trauma to get that surgery done to make himself over 6 feet. But it's really crazy. But let's get a little bit more what this guy got to say. Let's go.
To the women or the men, because we the ones that got to marry your ass. So how about doing what I like?
And if you notice, look how the woman, and it's a B-dub, look how she's talking. He's breaking it down pretty succinctly what the point is, and listen to what she's saying. If you can hear her yapping in the background, because they don't even take the time to listen to what the guy's saying. They're trying to overtalk you, because why? They think they're smarter than you. They think they're better than you. So at the very least, if you show up in their presence, according to them, you got to be at least towering over them, so that they can show you off to their friends and say, well, look what I caught. I got a bigger version of this guy. And I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to break down something that you guys probably never seen. I'm going to connect the dot and just sit tight. But that's the reason why they want you to be tall. It has nothing to do with anything practical or anything wholesome, such as, oh, they just want to feel protected. That's BS, right? They see you as this item that, just like if, she's comparing things to this other delusional B-dub, and they just want to be able to say who got the biggest whatever, right? Just like if they were comparing bags, who got the most expensive bag? You're like an accessory, and that's the way they're looking at it. But listen to how this woman's just over talking this dude. Let's go.
Things that we want are free. They are free. But for some reason, when you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? The first thing come out their mouth is something we don't care about, which is your job. Your job. The first thing a woman say, I pay my own bills, I got my own car, I got my own crib. But congratulations, you're an adult.
And listen, she's talking about, and they always try to do that equivalency argument. We all say the same thing. Yes, because men and women are different. We are not the ones that value that. We don't value a woman's job and money. That's what they value, but she's trying to get into this pissing contest about, oh, well, that's what y'all do too. So that's the problem right there. But yeah, but let me get this other clip. I'm gonna show you guys something after this next clip. Let's go.
Who are more loyal, men or women?
I think men if they are in love.
Why do you think so?
Because women often are searching for missing things in their life in other men. If men are in love, they're giving everything to women.
So even this woman right here understands that men are the ones that are more genuine. And a lot of women do understand that, and that's why they'll take advantage of it. Because listen to what she said. Watch this. This is a very short clip, but I want you to pay attention to something.
I think men if they are in love.
So she said she thinks men, if they're in love, they're more, quote, loyal, right? But isn't it the case that women always want to push forth this narrative that it's always you guys are the ones that are disloyal doing all this stuff? But even a woman right here will admit that men are the ones that are more solid and more loyal. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in those situations too, right? Where you may have had a woman that you were definitely into and you were willing to do things for or whatnot, and then they didn't really appreciate it, right? But watch what she says about women.
Why do you think so?
Because women often are searching for missing things in their life in other men.
Yeah, so I don't know where this woman's from. Sounds like she has an accent, but she's probably not from the American culture. But she said it right there. Women are the ones searching for something. So when it comes to this height thing, that's why it may have been a couple of years ago, it may have been 6 feet. Oh, now and then later it was 6'2", and then 6'4". Now they, like Shadow Zulu said, they're goddamn it, like I said, connection issues. So I'm gonna see if you guys are still in the house, because I might have to run that point back. Okay, it looks like we got connection issues, so I'm gonna see if you guys. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're good now. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time to fall back into the house. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. It just kind of I had to look up. I'm like, yeah, it looks like this chat had stopped, and yeah, we're back in the house now. So I'm gonna let you guys fall back into the house, and I'm gonna make my point again. Let me run it back. I'm not sure how much of that you got. Yeah, they're like people coming back into the house, so I'm gonna let you guys fall back in. I'm gonna make my next point, because I don't know how much of it you heard, but we're gonna be wrapping up soon anyway, guys. But I did want to make this last point, so I'm gonna give you guys a chance to fall back in. Give you a little bit more time. Then I'm just gonna make the point, and then we're gonna wrap up. Because I think you guys may have heard at least part of what I said. Yeah, let me type that in here. Yeah, we are back. So if you guys are still in the house, I see some people trying to come back in. And so the connection is still good, but for some reason it went out. I think we're over here dropping too much fire. You know how we do over here. You know how they like to do. So Yeah, if you guys can, because I see a couple people coming back into the house. If you can hear me, give me a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, let me know. Yeah, because like I said, I'm not sure if the chat re-engaged. Because on my end, it's the one that's on the screen has stopped. But anyway, what I'm going to do, guys, because again, even if you guys can't see it now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the point again. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make this point that I made, and hopefully it'll come through on the playback. So the point that I made was I connected a dot, just like the song that I used from Too Short in the beginning. I'm using a song that was made by this B-dub artist by the name of Saweetie, and she basically used the same beat that Too Short used on his Blow the Whistle song. And I made the point that all these women, while they're simultaneously saying they don't need men, they're using hip hop, they're using beats that black men made and all this to make their songs. And there's a particular song that she made, which I'm going to play a quick snippet of this video, which is going to show a frame of her fishing black men out of a bowl, which ties into what I said as far as the commodification of you, and how just like if you're going fishing, if a fish is too small, you might throw it back, right? Because you know there's other fish out there. You think that because there's an abundance of fish, so you can just keep fishing until you find the one that's the right size, right? So they pretty much have that same mentality, and they put it all in the videos that they make and all these other ways that they show you. And I just felt that it was an interesting connection, and that's the reason I wanted to show you this. So I'm gonna play this clip real quick, and then we're probably gonna wrap up. Because like I said, I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this again before we wrap up. Let's go.
Don't never stop if you wanna be on top, bitch.
Low waist, fat ass bitch, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Diamonds dancing on your neck, nigga, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Fucking nigga, get rich, bitch, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. MLB, icy gang, nigga, tap in.
Okay, let me double check something here. Okay, there we go. So I think it's moving slow, but I'm gonna go ahead and make this point again. Let's go.
Tap, 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 wrist on glitter, waist on thinner. I'ma show you how to bake an 8-figure nigga. Face on fatty, pockets on jigger. You better get the card and make it swipe like Tinder. Private villa in the fire chinchilla. When he post me, all the house get sicker. Up for a killer, I don't need fillers. Never been a lame, so the real bitch is feeling. Daddy on the FaceTime, you could never take.
Okay, so this part right here, right? Hold on.
Tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Fucking nigga, get rich, bitch, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. MLB, icy gang, nigga, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Wrist on glitter, waist on thinner. I'ma show you how to.
Okay, now you see this part where she's fishing these guys out the bowl, right? So this right here exemplifies the point that I'm making as far as how these women view you. You're just like an item that they could just pull out of the water, and then if you're not big enough, they can send you back. But if you meet their little BS requirements, then they'll keep you, right? So to me, this is just an example, and it proves and illustrates the point that I made as far as the delusion, right? So again, like I said, that was just a quick connection that I wanted to make, because I think a lot of people don't catch a lot of these things that are hidden in plain sight, where they'll sit there and put all this evidence in front of you, and that height thing it's just an example. It's part of a larger issue of them thinking that how superior they are in their mind over you. And a lot of you guys, thankfully, you're not buying it. You're not into that garbage. You know what it is. And you are the type of guys who move away from that bullshit, and you make sure that you're moving accordingly. And over here on the Knight Riders, that's what we advocate. Stacking your bread, making your plans, moving accordingly to making sure you're not subject to that type of foolery and BS. So for some of you guys that's rolling over here, you're 5'6", 5'7", 5 whatever. There's no reason for you to internalize any of that. You have value just as being a damn man. And our foremothers or whatever, they never looked at our grandfathers or anybody as being less than, regardless of their height. They knew that they were the men regardless as to how tall they were. And unfortunately, this modern crop of women, they have desecrated all of that, and that's why a lot of you guys are getting your passports and you're not playing no games. And it's just us over here making these type of analysis just to kind of reinforce the decisions that we've already decided to make. But anyway, that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys. I see you guys falling back into the house. I appreciate you. For some reason, we had a couple of technical issues for a little bit, but we back. But I did want to just end it there because, like I said, I had something to do. But I think I did what I came to do. So once again, I'm going to end the way we always do. We're not just a broadcast. We're a squadcast. There's a very big difference. Mission complete. Over and out.